What's up, MI40 Nation? B-Pack here, coming at you with the most optimal bicep workout ever created. Sounds like a bold claim coming from a guy who's got small arms, but try it. I guarantee you, as far as science goes, this is the best workout you could ever do. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about what we're doing first before we get into it, and then I'm going to dive into it. I get a lot of people who ask, what's the best thing I can do for my biceps? Everyone wants big arms, everyone wants bigger biceps, nobody knows what they're doing. I've tried some bicep videos before. I've actually done some where I was actually training, but I want you guys to understand the logic behind it. So as you know with everything, we have strength curve, we have a shortened part of the strength curve, we have a mid-range and a lengthened part of the strength curve. It's always the way every muscle functions. So with this particular workout, we're going to start in the middle of the strength curve with something simple. Dumbbell curl, really, really easy. Everybody's done it before, but execution is everything. As you know, I'm all about specificity. I'm all about proper contractions. Weight does not matter. No, you do not want to use light weights. You want to use weight that's appropriate to execute the movement. People always say, well, should I use light weights? No, you shouldn't use light weights. You should use whatever weight, whatever maximum amount of weight you can use to execute the movement properly. I'm not about using light weights. That's not what you want to do. You need to use weight, you need to use resistance, but you need to learn how to contract muscles properly. If you're using some heavy weight where you're slinging a weight around, you're wasting your time, and you're getting in my way in the gym. So we're going to start here with a simple bicep curl for dumbbells. So what a lot of people do, they curl it, their arm ends up looking like this. So not a lot of supination of the arm. What you really need to focus on is making sure that you're turning that dumbbell at the top. When I'm doing it, I'm literally trying to squeeze my baby finger on that dumbbell and turn it to the point that I can't really turn it anymore. I come down, I pronate. I come up, I supinate. I pronate. Notice how nothing's happening at my arm. Notice there's nothing happening up here. The only movement is happening here. So if I were to do it without a dumbbell, it literally just look like this. Okay, so I'm getting up here, I'm squeezing as hard as I can, trying to turn my baby finger, trying to turn my palm toward the ceiling. And the trick is, most people when they do use a dumbbell, they grab that dumbbell and they really try to focus on squeezing these two fingers or squeezing this part of the dumbbell, and this part kind of gets lazy. You really got to stay focused on keeping that baby finger squeezed. So when I do it, I'm really trying to overload squeezing the baby finger. Squeeze the baby finger harder than I squeeze the index finger, and I'm trying to turn. That supination is extremely important. Now, as you get advanced, the way I like to do this is as you get advanced, I like to warm up to my heaviest weight, which for me in this exercise is really only about 50 pounds, and I do this. Notice my hand placement in the dumbbell right in the middle. So I come all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. Notice I'm not extending back here, I'm extending in front. Second thing we do, once you've got up to your 50 pounds, I usually do my 3 or 4 working sets with that weight because I want to use the maximum amount of weight with that form. The next thing I do, check this out. I slide my hand to what would be the outside of the dumbbell. So there's a space there. See that? And so what that's doing is shifting a greater percentage of the dumbbell to the inside of my hand, thereby creating a greater percentage of weight of that dumbbell on this side of the dumbbell. So now when I supinate, it's actually harder for me to turn, which is going to make you better at supination. So I'm still squeezing that baby finger, extend all the way in front of me, squeeze. So and then I'm going to continue doing 8 to 10 repetitions that way. So I do my 4 sets with my maximum weight, really supinating, keeping that form tight, and then I rest, slide my hand to the inside of the dumbbell, I guess the outside of the dumbbell effectively, supinate, and maybe another 4 sets. So that we're working the mid part of the range, but really focus on supination. We're going to move on to the next exercise, which is a really shortened bicep, whereby we've talked about this before. One of the main functions of the bicep is actually shoulder flexion. So whereby we're going to come up behind the arm, behind the head. Again, still emphasizing squeezing the baby finger. So the next question that a lot of people are going to ask is, where should this cable be? Well, here's your answer. Look at the cable. If it's straight, my arm is in a straight line with that cable, there's no tension here. If I go down, there's tension here. If I go up, there's tension here. So the answer is, no matter where that cable happens to be, it could be down here. My intent is to do this. So that cable is always putting emphasis and tension on this muscle. So if I were to come here, I'm relaxing, I'm resting. So I come just slightly up, boom, 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 That's what we're doing. So we're trying to keep the upper arm relatively stable, not let it move too much up and down. We just keep it there, and not letting it come straight or flush because we lose tension. Next, we're going to move on to dumbbell curls on an incline bench. Why? Because it's a fully lengthened, long head of the bicep. Same idea here. Lean back, just let the dumbbell hang. I contract my triceps, keep my abs tight so nothing's swinging. Curl, same idea. Use the baby finger. Tricep. On this one, you can choose to supinate and pronate or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I change it up. But ultimately, as long as you're finishing in a supinated position, you're doing it right. Notice my upper arm isn't traveling. I'm not coming up. I'm not coming back. It's literally just staying in place. Letting the bicep shorten. I'm trying to like drag my elbow behind me. There you go. Boom. I'll often do these 2 arms at a time. Or what I'll do is I'll do 8 with this arm, 8 with this arm. So this arm is resting. Then I may still be able to do 6 with this arm. Then I'll still be able to do 6 with this arm. Then I may get 4 or 5 with this arm again. So it's almost like doing an extended set instead of going 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, which you do 1, the other one's resting. I do my 8. It's almost like doing 3 or 4 sets in 1. So there you have it, guys. We just worked the bicep through its entire range. We killed it. If you can do that in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I guarantee your arms are going to grow. They'll have no choice. So as C.T. Fletcher would say, I'm going to leave that one out. But you guys know it. Rock hard, train hard, get after it, and let's build some biceps. MI40 Nation, Ben Pakulski /MI40.com.